charge him in front of a military tribunal. It's gonna make waves in that doing on Nutcracker base. So my point is, Trump putting out this disruption. Even when you go look at Charlie Kirk, there's this other guy that is a MAGA influencer. They're all talking about Obama right now, and they have like a huge base of MAGA folks that listen to that, tune in and listen to them. So the distraction is working a little bit.
Yeah, but Trump called Charlie Kirk, it's on the record, and told him stop talking about Epstein. Trump also called Mark Levin, who's like a huge MAGA, and told him stop talking about Epstein. And then Trump tweeted, Fox News, and then Levin comes on and talks about Obama. Okay, so Trump clearly got the phone call, and they are dealing with Trump once. But remember, MAGA it's 35-38%. This distraction is going to go over. There's nothing they can do to Obama.
A regular ice hammer is pretty weak and breaks doing even the most basic of hammer things. However, ice doesn't have to be this weak. Adding just a few strips of paper towel before freezing turns it into a much stronger ice cube, as you can see here. So I figured let's take this principle to the extreme to see how strong and functional an ice hammer can be. And as you'll see later, this took me down quite the ridiculous rabbit hole. The first step to making the world's strongest ice hammer is to make the hammer mold. I used a silicone mold kit, and after thoroughly mixing it and pouring it over an actual hammer, I left it outside for about 24 hours. This is my first time doing this, by the way, so I apologize here if it looks a bit unprofessional. I was just trying to minimize the amount of silicone I need. Anyway, with a few small adjustments to the mold, it was ready to go, and after trying it with some water, the hammer freezes quite nicely, but of course it's not strong yet. Paper towels aren't the only thing you can add to ice to make it stronger, it's just the classic one. So I wanted to do some testing to determine the best material to add and thought of 8 possible options. Those tests and the rest of this full-length video is outrageous.
Why he used this before he ended up office, coming on the heels of Obama, and the disgust that he must have felt when Obama was running, and then attacking Obamacare. He wakes up something in his base about this brother, this Obama, being president. It wakes up something in his base like, oh, wait, all else, let's get behind Trump. Like, let's stop talking about Epstein and we can just start talking again about Obama. It seems something Trump, in his heart of hearts, deep in the recesses of his mind, like his go-to is talk negative about Obama. That does something calling him out for days on end. Like, why are you dodging this Epstein thing, bro? Like, what's happening? And then it shifted with the last thing when he finally talked about putting out the grand jury piece or putting something out. And then some Democrats and stuff. And then it refocused his base. Y'all remember that in the last few days. And so then right on the heels of that, he better get back in control of what the media is talking about. If there's more time being talked about, whatever, to Brian's point, and specifically to my point, Obama, that's just less airtime throughout the day, throughout the 24-hour period to talk about Epstein. I think that's the play.
That sounds peaceful. I mean, anything to cover up this that's going on with him and the rest of the people who are trying to help him cover it up. This is perfect. I mean, you could have chose a better topic. I mean, the other stuff failed. Okay, everything else he was trying before fell flat. But this with Obama, they hate Obama so much. That's the only thing I'm saying. They might not be able to do it, right? You guys are saying they might not be able to do it. You doubt it's going to happen, but they can drag him for weeks and just, literally chip away at his legacy. They can drag him for weeks. Now, she says she got more shit she's going to release either tonight or tomorrow, just to add to it. And using the words like treason and sedition and all these words like that, those kind of words just really just fired him up, right? This is perfect. So, kudos, and that's why he's so happy with Pam Bondi. He's like celebrating her right now all over the place. I don't know who came up with it, him, her, and I thought it was him. But, she's being lauded for, definitely finding the one topic that can have everybody. Because I almost got whiplash Has anybody been on Truth Social? Not Truth Social. I'll pull Truth Social up. Anybody been on X? I'm sure this is the main course over there. I haven't been on X, but I don't think this is the right Haitian that's sitting next to me. I'm just saying.
No, that's not always Haitians.
You can bring him back up. Huh?
Yes.
That
judge. So Trump did not get Eileen Cannon, his favorite judge in Florida. He played Russian roulette and he drew not only a black guy, but a gay black guy appointed by Obama.
Oh well, karma is a great person. So this last article I got, because I was trying to figure out, and then they're saying also that this is releasing MLKs is another distraction because the family told him not to do it. But I have an article I just want to read real quickly and give us some more focus us back in. Facing backlash from mega supporters about the handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein, President Donald J. Trump and his administration have released a flood of information on old grievances and issues popular with his base. Overnight, Trump used his Truth Social platform to attack Senator Adam Schiff, posted a fake IA generated video showing former President Barack Obama being arrested by FBI, and shared an IA generated mugshots of a variety of Democratic officials who has served as Republican boogeymen for over the years. So he's just flooding everything just throwing everything at the wall. Trump also weighed in on another MAGA favorite, the names of sports teams, and threatened to try to block a deal to build a new football stadium in D.C. unless the Washington Commanders changed their name back to the Redskins. The team dropped that name in 2019 after years of criticism that it was racist. The intensity of the Epstein conversation has dampened since last week, after the Trump administration had to contend with many of its MAGA supporters who were furious that the officials weren't releasing more information about Epstein. On Friday, Trump sued the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch after the paper published an article saying Trump sent a letter to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003 that included a drawing of a naked woman. By Monday, many prominent MAGA social media accounts appear to have moved on from the Epstein issue, focusing instead on some of the other topics that the Trump administration has been pushing. Saying Trump's post random stuff to distract is like saying the sun rises to mess up your sleep schedule, a former Trump advisor said. It's just what he does. On Friday, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard revisited the 2016 election, calling for several Obama aides to face prosecution related to Russian interference. As is always the case, President Trump was right about the Obama-Biden administration's clear involvement in the greatest witch hunt in American history and the genius of the decade-long hoax saga that tore our nation apart and undermined the will of the people. A White House spokesman, Harrison Field, said the president and his entire administration are committed to unearthing wrongdoing and holding any individual accountable for this gross abuse of power and blatant conspiracy against Trump and his supporters. So, what did Al Sharpton say? Okay, now they're talking about the release of the King, I guess the assassination papers. American people have waited nearly 60 years to see the full scope of the federal government's investigation into Dr. King's assassination. Gareth Head, whose agency was also involved in the release, said in a statement, under President Trump's leadership, we are ensuring that no stone is left unturned, and our mission to deliver a complete transparency conspiracy on this pivotal and tragic event in our nation's history. The Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights leader and MSNBC host, criticized the release of the King documents, saying that Trump, his administration, is simply trying to change the subject. We need to be crystal clear on the fact that Trump's release in the MLK assassination files is not about transparency or justice. It's about a desperate attempt to distract people from the firestorm engulfing Trump over Epstein files and the public unraveling of credibility among the MAGA base. So we're going to talk about that once we get through this. And, what do you guys think about so far where we're up to, that he's just trying to find any and everything, just throwing it all out so we can not focus on the pedophileness of his administration, him and Epstein.
I'll repeat, distraction and deflection. We're watching it again, this page from their playbook. Don't fall for the okie doke, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Distraction and deflection.
I agree. Never mind. People kind of gloss over that Trump just tried to blackmail the owner of the Washington Redskins or Cleveland Indians or whatever it was.
Yes.
We're going to just gloss over that. That's blackmail.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he told him he wasn't going to let that deal go through until he agreed to change the name back from the Commanders to the Washington Redskins. And that is, that's exactly what it is, blackmail.
How is that related to national security?
It's not even critical.
How is it related to that?
It's a start.
How is this related to national security? If the president's supposed to have carte blanche on shit because it's in the protection of national security, how the fuck does a change of a football name rise up to that level? What the fuck?
He said, "Make Indians great again." He literally texted that.
Oh my God, this boy, this is an embarrassment, the things that are going on here. And like I said, I'm really upset about it because this is for the world to see. It's just we're not no microcosm. Well, it's just us, and we see the shenanigans that are happening, having Obama being disrespected to that level. It went across the world. So he's doing it. He's malicious though with Obama because he's so jealous of him, everything he does or he has accomplished, and from his marriage all the way down to his children. He can't take it. And so any little thing that has to do with Obama, fake or otherwise, he's going to put his teeth in it, and he's going to drag him until he runs out of steam. So I think that's what's going to happen.
And to your point, Lisa, see, when the election and Biden used to be Vice President Obama, see, all the time, it's like low-hanging fruit. It's like meat. He can just talk about Democrat. But now you're elected. And what's been happening for the last how many days since he got elected is all eyes on him. And that has gotten real hot over the fact terrorists, immigration, how he's doing everything. People are like, and then Epstein now, not making his word bond, going to end the war in Russia on day one. How many days has it been? That's escalated out of control, crazy. So it's like he's got to raise, Obama's not dead, but in terms of presidential people he's got to battle, he's got to raise them from the dead, and so he can talk about that again. And like you're saying, Lisa, the world is watching, and there's a whole country at stake and real lives, and it's like, bro, this is not the best of what America can do, but it's like, and that's the frustration that I think a lot of people can join in with you on, Lisa. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, this is not about it. So do you guys understand the whole military tribunal thing? Because for me, I'm getting a vibe that if I put on my extreme racism hat and lenses, that is code for what happens at the end of if someone's convicted of treason. What happens? That person is unalived. That's the backhand version of a pure racist Nazi's wet dream. And I land on that. It's fucking too much, too far. I think Trump started to realize that that treason idea might start creeping up on him if he lets himself stay in the crosshairs too long. It might be like, hold up, bro, your whole body of work from first time around, what you're doing right now.
We went through that. We went through that during the January 6th thing, and then it was reduced down to it was reduced down from treason to like.
No, I know. I know we went through it, but I'm saying now it's a new, fresh unit of time. There's new data that's coming in since then. Is what I'm saying. So add all that on top of the whole idea of the character of this person. It's not thinking about maybe possibly like right now, real time, mixed in with the track record, but nobody's holding necessarily accountability for the track record. But you're right. But my point is the new freshness of the disgruntledness amongst his own party. I'm sure he had enough sense to realize, because if you remember, he finally said, okay, let me put this out. Because for a while it was like he tried that plausible deniability, like just ignore it, it'll go away, and it wasn't going away. And I think now he's moving again because he realizes if I don't really steer people's attention on something, they're going to be focusing on what I'm doing since I've been president this time around and what's happening.
I think this is where we should break the internet and just not let him escape Epstein, not let him escape the fact he is less than Obama. We need to remind him of that every fucking day, every fucking minute, every second. He has nothing to do it because he did it with Obama. Let us create AI showing him as a fucking parent. Well, no, I don't want that. No.
Oh, no, you can't. That part.
Let's show him with more pictures of Epstein and him doing some other AI shit. That's what we can do. And just blow up the internet. Break the fucking internet every week. That is the protest. So he can wake up every day and get on TV. That's the only thing he sees. Because he's a visual person. Give him that every day. And he sees nothing but that. That's how we win. And he'll implode. He'll implode.
So, you know what drives me crazy? Which people don't talk about it all today with the whole Trump presidency. There's so much shit being thrown around. I don't know if you guys have been seeing news about Amazon, Walmart, different stores jacking up their prices 70%, 50%, 30%, 13%, all over the place. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of other folks I spoke to last year with the election, and all they talked about was the reason we're voting for this immigration, grocery prices, gas prices, and because of these tariffs, these companies are jacking up prices like big time, and nobody's talking about that.
I've noticed the prices are higher. I really have noticed that everything is higher.
Yes, but here out of this, they not Biden, they not Kamala. Oh, look at my grocery prices, I can't afford this. And right under their noses, prices are going up everywhere. And Walmart and Amazon and others, they don't say shit about it. That's the shit that drives me crazy with them.
So we can do it, continue to do it here like we have been doing, and we'll keep Epstein on the radar like we have been doing. Just keep it going day in, day out. You know, we don't have to spend the whole stage time on it, but we can just keep making sure that everybody remembers, you know, what's going on with him. He is a purported child molester, and Epstein was feeding it to him. So anybody else want to comment on this particular story? We are going to talk about the MLK release and see if there's a reason why, if you think there's anything in those papers that could be harmful, because the family asked them, after they reviewed them, asked them not to do it. So I don't know if there's anything in there. We can get the pages, maybe we can go through them. But yeah, so that seems to be the big distraction as well. Oh, before I forget, you guys know that I guess everybody does maybe by now, but Malcolm Jamal Warner has died at the age of 54. He died Theo.
Yeah.
Theo.
He died John.
Yeah. Let me play this little small clip real quick for him. longer. I'm gonna stop it before it's a longer clip, but I'll just stop it after the original report comes out, and then like I said, we can move on to MLK paper release, file release on his assassination, and maybe other stuff in there, and then go into Epstein, and that should be a full ass night, so we can get out of here by at least by midnight. So let me do this for the Malcolm Jamal, because we have to recognize this brother. He was a good guy. You guys can hear. Hopefully, this is a thorough report of what happened. Let me see if I can get one shorter. Yeah, I found one shorter than 8 minutes. Hold on. All right, let me see if I can do this one. Oh, I got one for 3 minutes from TMZ. We'll do that one. Okay, so here it comes. Hold on. I hope it's no commercial to start with. YouTube be getting their money.
We have been working on a story this morning that sadly we now have the answer because, I say sadly because what we've learned is that Malcolm Jamal Warner, former Cosby Show star, died over the weekend. And we have an unconfirmed, but pretty reliable source telling us what happened here. What we know at this moment, as we talk to you now, is that we're told from the source Charles just mentioned that this was an accidental drowning of some sort. And so you know, I mean, that's one of the reasons there's been commotion this morning. And we've been working on, we confirmed the death. I can tell you that some members of the Cosby Show know and are very upset that Bill Cosby didn't know at the time he turned. Yeah. And he had been, obviously, even after the Cosby Show, working very steadily. He actually has a podcast that he does now. And in fact, the latest episode just dropped a few days ago. So we've been told by one source, and again, we're still working to confirm every detail here, but by one source that he was on vacation at the time, so this was not apparently something that happened at his home. But we are going to try to get more information on this, so we will update you, especially about the show. Yeah, if we get more by the end of the show, we will tell you.
Hello from New York. I am absolutely devastated as someone. Malcolm Jamal Warner was my first crush. I mean, I loved him, loved his career. He was the most beautiful person. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He's commented on my social media posts that I made about him. I mean, I couldn't think of a most warm, loving soul than this. And it's so, I can't believe it. Like, I'm looking at the headline, I thought maybe there's like somebody else associated with him. And it is just so devastating. He was our first love. He was vulnerable. He was funny. He was loving. He was a sweetheart. I mean, we grew up with Theo and even Malcolm as he grew up and doing other stuff in his career. This is such not the news that anyway, I love him. And it's such a, like, oh God, I can't.
Okay, so just looking at some of the pictures that were showing of him and showing him walking through the airport, he's smiling in every single one. Just a big, broad smile in every single one. Even the one that people are not talking to him and he's walking through the airport and somebody's filming him, every single one. I mean, 54 years old. And where was he at? He was on vacation.
Coast Street.
Okay, so just, sending the most love and the most care and the most compassion to his family. And geesh. And all the devils are still alive. All right. All the devils are still alive.
That one.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing, because this really hits me hard because, I have dyslexia. Theo was the first character
character on TV, or the first time that I ever heard dyslexia being mentioned, and I think they handled it really well. And that was always a source of, he was always a source of inspiration for me. And that show, like I remember the show and him struggling. And so I think for a lot of us, especially being Black and dyslexic, it's something that goes extremely underdiagnosed. And so I just wanted to say that it's just, I remember that moment of connecting, when I got my diagnosis, much later on in life, with him, because that's really the only person I had to gauge. So just wanted to say that. So yeah, that first thing said he was swimming in the ocean in Costa Rica and died on Sunday. Is that what you guys heard? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think it was high currents. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I read earlier today. High currents.
I think that was Patty. That's, I want to say this. Of anybody.
Patty what?
And was that you ever mentioned about the dyslexia?
That was not Cynthia. No? That was me, Cynthia.
Where that?
That was Mel.
Okay.
That was Finn. Wow. I'm sorry, you guys. It's right there.
Okay, my bad. I wasn't looking at the phone, and all y'all ladies, y'all started rapping in the morning in my brain, but it's all good. It's a beautiful thing. But let me say this, that to the point that she was making, see how I handle that? The point she was making is that, the dyslexia part, and it was very personal to her. I think someone of the caliber of Malcolm Jamal Obama, meaning the world was affected in a very positive way by this person, and it probably brings up a lot of, definitely for those of us that are 50 plus, we probably takes it back to, 15 or 20 or whatever, in that range. But, and so we kind of had a foundation about our life that was very much familiar with him and vice versa, and it was a person that majorly handled life a certain way, at least in the sitcom and different things. And so I think it's a big thing. People can feel it on a very large scale when somebody is so famous and you like the character.
Did he jump off for you guys?
Yeah, I definitely felt it too. Like, when I seen it, I was like, what the fuck? Because he was also my first crush. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really thought he was so handsome when I was growing up. And he grew up to be so handsome. And it's just like, oh my God.
I'm looking at some stuff, Brooklyn, that they're showing about him right now, and he is definitely.
He was fine as hell. Like his whole life.
A musician as well as a poet. And I think he has some type of awards. I have to dig a little bit deeper into what he was doing once he left the Cosby Show, or once it stopped filming. So he's gonna be missed.
He was a doctor. He played a doctor on one of those shows too, which was really good. He was like a cardiac doctor, and it was I think it was a hospital in a fake hospital in Atlanta. I forgot what it was called, but
The Resident.
he played that. The Resident, yeah, that was he was on that show, and I liked him on his podcast because he was talking about fatherhood. That's some good stuff.
And he left a small child. Did he just have that one child you guys said was 7 years old, or was he? I didn't see any of that. I just heard you guys discussing it earlier.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he won. Yeah, daughter. I think they said he won the Grammy for if anybody heard the phenomenal or has a phenomenal album, Black Radio 2, which is Robert Glasper and a bunch of different guests. There's a beautiful cover of Stevie Wonder's Jesus Children of America. And Lila Hathaway is the singer, Donny Hathaway's daughter, and Malcolm Jamal Warner has a spoken word part in the middle of that song, and he won the song won best traditional R&B performance. So, and that was around 2015, Black Radio 2. Definitely check it out. It's a gorgeous song.
Yeah, we're gonna have to someday. I gotta remind myself Black Radio too. Let me write it down so I can look it up.
I'll post the as much as I hate Spotify, that's what people have. I'll post the link for that song.
The music. I think Lisa, what strikes me every single time when I see images of people right before they die, especially those working in the ICU, that life is so fleeting. They have no idea within the next 24 hours or whatever hours their number's going to be called. That always strikes me when you see images right before somebody dies. That they have no idea.
Lavon, is it different for you and Lisa? Is it different when you have patients that know they're already sick, they already got the terminal the terminal diagnosis, opposed to somebody who just yesterday he was just fine, everything was all good, and then damn, they just gone? Is it like a big difference or no?
No, because my spirituality knows that. Like whenever I'm in codes, they always call me the ice queen. I'm never moved unless it's a child, because I know we're only on this earth for a small section of time, and eventually your number is going to be called. Now, the difference that it made for me that wrecked my brain. My sister was an assistant DON, went in the hospital to use their dad on a Thursday. Did not see that coming. And I was on the phone while they were coding her. As I was rushing to see her, wrecked my mind. As they leave. If that was personal, did not foresee that. She had no comorbidities that would make her ever want to think that she would die. So that was extremely personal and not foreseen. And I'm on the phone hearing the code blue bells go off. That wrecked my mind. But other than that, unless it's a child, like children, I cannot do that specialty with children, because I still think of them that they're in pain, or somebody hurt them, or what have you. They didn't have a chance to have control of their life. There's other humans making decisions for them. So children, I cannot do children. But adults, it doesn't bother.
It all bothers me. So, I'm just a complete softie. Losing their life, been diagnosed with some terminal illness, or any trauma oh my God, the traumas are the worst for me. Absolutely 100% the worst for me. More than the codes on the floor. To have people coming in and was probably in the midst of doing something in their daily life, and all of a sudden they are in a critical situation, and coming through the ER and then up to surgery. That gets me. That really gets me, because we're in a real tight race to save somebody's life in the minute. And I'm just like, I'm feeling everything, all kind of emotions, but you have to keep that in check. So what I do have for you guys after this, we're gonna do MLK, like I said, then we'll move on to Jeffrey Epstein, the shenanigans that are going on. We don't want to lose sight of that, like what's going on up to date. And then we're gonna also talk about what we talked about last night, which I thought I was gonna lose my mind. I was going through some traumas. The young lady and her father, the one who had the baby and then put the baby in the trash can at Walmart, and then her and her father just went on about their daily routine. We're going to do that last, because I think that's a story we need to talk about. It's worth listening to and discussing, because it's horrific in my eyes. So we'll do that. So let me get the MLK thing up. They're saying that I'm going to Al Jazeera, because I trust them on this, because they don't give a fuck. Trump administration declassifies Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination files. Do you know that this administration has released more than 230,000 pages related to the 1968 assassination of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. hundreds. I don't know. I said, let's get it. I don't think so. This is too many pages. 230,000. In a statement issued on Monday, Director, here you girl, she's all over the place. You know, does she have a problem? She just got to be, got her fingers on every fucking thing now that's going on that people are opposed to. So, in a statement on Monday by Tulsi Gabbard, she called the release unprecedented and cited the president's commitment to complete transparency. What is the transparency? Trump signed an executive order. We know about that. The records have been under a court-imposed seal since 1977, when the FBI first gathered them and turned them over to the National Archives and Records Administration. King was assassinated, we know, in April 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee, and they got James L. Ray on that conviction, but he died in prison in 1998. The King's children, Martin Luther King's children, have expressed doubts that he was the assassin. Let me see. In a lengthy statement released on Monday, his children called their father's assassination a captivating public curiosity for decades, but the children emphasized the personal nature of the matter and urged that the files must be reviewed within their full historical content. During his lifetime, civil rights leader had been the target of an invasive, predatory, and deeply disturbing disinformation and surveillance campaign orchestrated by J. Edgar Hoover, the same man who dressed up in women's clothes. But anywho, the FBI campaign was intended to discredit, dismantle, and destroy King's reputation and the broader American civil rights movement. The timing of the release raises eyebrows because fulfilling the intent of his January executive order, the latest release serves as another alternative headline for Trump as he tries to mollify supporters' anger over administration's handling of sex trafficking investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. So this is okay. So he released that to also try to cover up. He's going to get all the bag of tricks now. He's going to try to get everything. Next thing you know, we're going to have Tupac and Biggie. Y'all get ready for that. Anything to stop us talking about Epstein and Trump.
Yeah, the family's saying that because there's allegations of appearing from orgies and all kind of unsavory things. There's no reason to release these files. It doesn't serve any public.
It doesn't serve any purpose because I don't want to read about anybody here want to read about MLK's orgies and
I don't see like the necessity of it. Like I don't even.
You know what the necessity is? Bring another black man down. He's starting with Obama. Now he's moving on to MLK. That's why I said next time it's gonna be Biggie and Tupac. Y'all taking the media.
Let me just say this. From now on, I'm going to cease communicating with black men that, parade for this dude. And the reason why is this. It is so blatantly obvious what this man's agenda is. And to hear a black man in North America continue to support this guy and in the way that they do, at this point, you are an agent of his regime. And you are despicable. You are not a competent individual. You're full of hatred and vitriol. And this is what we call, identity fusion in the worst way. Clearly, this man is targeting black men. And you hear certain dudes, I ain't even say nobody's names. They'll say things like, if Martin Luther King, if he saved 1 million people, there are people come up there like, oh, but he did. Oh, he did this. Like, and so this disintegration has gotten like just disgusting. And so like, yeah, man, I'm not even fucking with dudes because
yo, you're the enemy, man. Plain and simple. And you're total, you're taking your whole life to just put black people down. And it's typically individuals that have reached some level of success, and they think that that success equates them to proximity of Caucasian people. They think that their success and their material things that they have keep them in bound for Caucasian people. So it's disgusting. And I'm just not even talking to cats. I'm not engaging with them because it's not an honest conversation. I'm speaking with a person who actually hates themselves. They hate themselves. And so you can't have a conversation with somebody. They lack any type of empathy. They lack any kind of self-pride, none of those things. So fuck them all. With both of my middle fingers, fuck them all. That's my attitude. I'll land.
Yeah, fuck DJ Firm.
I'm sorry, who was that? Oh, okay, cool.
I think he said DJ Friday. I don't know why he didn't speak up, but I think he said DJ Friday. That's what I thought I heard.
Oh, that dude. Yeah, man. Usual suspects. And I don't care how eloquent they sound. I don't care how well they put together arguments and the points and all of that. That shit is just pure self-hatred. That's all it is. I don't care if a person is well-spoken. I don't care if a person can't speak. It's just pure fucking hatred, and I'm sick of it. Like, it turns my stomach at this point. So, yeah, I don't even want it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk it. I don't even want to deal with them. I'm just going to let them wallow in their own misery.
I'm sorry, but what do you think that MLK was a Republican has to do with anything? I don't understand these people. Like, what's the story?
Hatred. That's what this is, ladies. It's just pure hatred. That's all it is. Like, let's call it what it is. This is hatred. This is racism. This is prejudice. This is white supremacy at work. Let's call it what the fuck it is. And stop trying to analyze it. Nah, man, but this is what it is. This is the apparatus of white supremacy. And they get more bolder each day because people try to pacify it, bring logic to it. There's no fucking logic. We're literally at war. We're literally under attack. And unless we step the fuck up, we're gonna be susceptible to that attack. Like, you gotta take the gloves off, man. This shit is for real, for real. This is
so. I have a question. What is the policy of this specific room going to be moving forward in regards to MAGA voices? Is it going to continue to center them, to welcome them, and to modulate their efforts to spread what spread their movement?
Okay, so let me tell you this, because that was definitely directed towards me. The policy of this room is to have voices, all voices, dissenting voices, if they're respectful. If they're able to come in and conduct a conversation and exchange information, then they will be allowed on the stage. If you guys don't like to exchange information with anybody in particular, are you bringing in your personal grievances that you have in other rooms? That is going to be your personal issue. But we do have people we can actually dialogue with. Do you have a problem with that?
Yes, I do. I'll see you later.
Okay. So, anybody else want to talk about that one? Huh? Sorry, who was that? What the hell was that about? I don't know. I'm just pissed out.
That was a laugh. He has been with us on stage before, dialoguing. What's the issue today?
I don't know. He didn't take his meds. It's okay.
Oh,
I can't. Okay, when it's time to pass meds on the unit, it's usually not me that's passing the meds. So if you guys miss your meds and you want to come up to the desk and get them, that's fine. But I'm not responsible.
And don't let me pass them because I'm gonna over medicate all your motherfuckers.
And because that's so crazy, because they're like, we talked to Anthony last night. It wasn't a problem. He even said he was coming in with the fuck MAGA thing if this Obama situation escalated. Now, is that a problem for anybody? I don't understand it. So then we have, okay, who else did we talk to? And they're pretty much rational. CEO is Republican. He's not a MAGA. But people want to say he voted. Then we have Trent, bless his heart. So we should just start blocking everybody that we've been
talking to now for a year, some of them need to be blocked. But when they come in here and act up, we already know what to do with them already. And they've been self-deporting themselves lately. We've been having conversations on both stages. Pepe has been on both stages. You think I give a fuck about Pepe? And if he's in the room, that's what I mean. But he's been on both stages. All these people have been on both stages. Now, what today has got the balls in a knot?
I would suggest that people want a curated stage that's exactly the way that they like it. You can't go make your own room.
You know, and I don't even.
If I may, I think it's because the fact that there are some MAGA that are just so disgusting. It's almost, you know how like you weren't in the room today when Patty played the Jubilee podcast today, and the guy was just like, I'm not gonna even talk to you because you just literally said that you're admitted and you're proud to be a fascist. Because I'm not gonna debate you. I think it's maybe on that point, like where is the red line? I guess like what is quote unquote somewhat reasonable, right? Or because sometimes I do hear people say the most crazy shit, and it's kind of like I don't know what happened today too, like taking a conversation off and spreading misinformation.
So what do you do with that instance?
Is there a queue?
Yeah, you can speak right after she's done.
Okay.
Go ahead, Katrina.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
No, I said so. In the past, what has been done? We either refocus or we eliminate. So it's either or. And you know what's really interesting? You guys have to survive in this world. The world is not an echo chamber. So any space that I'm in is not an echo chamber. If we want to do a podcast, I guess we'll get together and we'll just open up the room and we'll do a podcast. And everybody can come in and listen. But we have to hear opposing views. We even had a room that had to do with grooming. Male grooming yesterday. There were opposing views. And then it got heated. I didn't get heated over Manny Petty. But it happened.
Lisa, I totally agree with you that if you don't want an echo chamber, right, and you do want other people's perspectives and other people's opinions, I guess what I took out what the guy was asking is where is that moral line where we're gonna remove and not entertain and move on, or or this what is the qualifications of somebody.
But those getting a little bit crazy. This is Clubhouse. This is not the Senate and it's not the House. This is not I don't know what you guys are doing right now. This is Clubhouse. So it's not against you. I'm talking about the crazy statement that a left made. That's why we have moderators up here. And the moderators will get in there and they will try to redirect the conversation, direct the conversation, moderate. So, and if it doesn't happen, then we have the person who's at the top left. They make the decision of if they want to keep that particular line of conversation or questioning going. I mean, I don't understand. You guys are really, really making me think really hard on. Yes.
Okay, let me help. Since it's been this way since day one, as far as I'm concerned on this app, you're the mod, it's your house, it's your rules. How you want to run the show is how you decide to run the show and how it gets run. I am a guest here on stage, even if I was a mod, it's not my room. And I can decide what my red line is, and I can fucking leave if I want to leave. And I have. There are times that there are insufferable people that I would never even give them a drink of water if they were parched in the middle of the desert.
You want to hear the Bible?
I will leave if that's the case, because this is not my room. And every person is handled very differently in this space. And that is your decision, Lisa, and the mods. And if people collectively, as the mods, decide that they want to impose certain restrictions, at that room, at that time, on a specific person, then they can do that.
That's my choice. If I don't like it, to leave. There's a lot of other things going on this app and in the world. I can go listen to music and I can go watch Love Island USA. So thank you, Lisa, for this space. If I leave, no offense to you, it's because I hate certain people. And what they have to say. Otherwise, if I'm sticking around, I'm sticking around. It's my choice. That's it. God bless.
Thank you, Scotty. So, and that's what it is. It's a platform for people to speak. And hopefully you guys can come up on this platform and speak freely and say what you have to say without, any fear of silencing, maybe, or thrown off the stage, maybe. Come back with open arms. But until then, I love you to laugh. God bless you. So, okay, another piece of breaking news. I hope I didn't lose it. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead. Whoever says, can I go next? Go ahead before I do the breaking news. Hello?
Exactly. Hello.
Oh.
Lisa, I appreciate
it. I'm my eyeball.
Y'all
He spams the chat. Yeah, he spams
The grifter is like 17
No,
different accounts.
you guys don't want to make money. That's your problem.
We're leaving money on the table, Spirit.
We appreciate y'all shooting in though. No discrimination there.
Well, you're welcome. I had nothing to do with it, but you're welcome. I'm slow today. I don't get it. No, we're about to wake up. Okay, so listen, breaking news.
I got something. I got a comparison.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm hurt. How the fuck is Steele gone and David Duke ain't fucking dead?
Oh, I have these questions every day, damn. I have these questions. And so far, the Lord has said to me, in due time, when I see it, that's our answer, in due time.
I just want to be around when he goes. Right? Because that'll be a day to celebrate. There's transcendence to not him. I hope it's not
Just you're breathing. The best people are going left and right, and the demons are still here, strong. So, I don't know. Maybe we all should have a group prayer. I don't know.
The demons are having complications.
Lisa has a breaking news. Please, Lisa has a breaking news.
Okay, let me go to this real
Who's
quick.
interrupting my stick on the stovepipe?
My bad, April, my bad. But Lisa has a breaking news. I've been waiting to hear that.
Okay, so we were talking about that cop. Remember the cop, the ex-officer who violated Breonna Taylor's civil rights in 2020? And they were thinking about giving him 1 day. Y'all remember we talked about that?
Yes.
So
1 day? 1 day of what?
1 day prison time. Like 1 day.
Crazy. Oh my God.
So here's the
The
story.
city will blow up again. Louisville will blow up again. It will burn again. It will burn again.
Really? Okay, so
Louisville blew up.
I know it blew up, but you thinking it would blow up again?
No, it didn't. That announcement was made a few days ago. That didn't happen. So.
Right. So the former Louis, if you guys didn't know it, the former officer was sentenced to 33 months. And so the prosecutor said Brett Hackinson received only a 1 day sentence. So there you go. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. That's the meat and potatoes of it. And it could have been, in my book, it could have been more, but he got 33 months. He was already in jail, right?
That's still a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It's a slap in the face. And at least there's something else about that. The only other prosecutor to sign off on that was a sketchy prosecutor who also attempted to dismiss charges in an LA case against a deputy who was caught on video who was slamming an older black woman down on the pavement for videoing him. Slammed her down on the pavement and used pepper spray. So the only other prosecutor to sign off on this current one that you're talking about was that same prosecutor, and the other prosecutors that worked the original case, after the DOJ was trying to make this ridiculous move and request, they resigned.
Oh, wow.
See, I don't know if resigning is enough. I don't think resigning is enough. People are resigning. Where's the backbone? Is the alternative to get fired? Is that what it is? Because you don't want to do it. Because
sometimes that's even as an alternative. Sometimes resigning is being fired, but it's just not being said that you're being fired.
Yeah.
But it just depends on where these things happen. If you consider where they're happening. So if it's happening in Kentucky, there's going to be a different outcome than say it would be in California. California, they're going to string you up.
Yeah. But
and that depends on where in California. What's that?
If your senator name is Bitch McConnell, you know something right.
It doesn't even have to go as far as Mitch McConnell. Depending on where you are in Kentucky, that's not, Yeah, I mean, listen,
no, all of it. All of it.
It's going to be a much different outcome if that happens in New York. Presumably, if that happens in New York versus it happening in Kentucky or in Texas. It's a different outcome, and then it depends on who it is.
Okay. This is just. Well, you're right. He should have more than 33 months, but you know what? That one day, I guess you guys are right. That would have been 100% unacceptable, and people deserve to go out there and protest. I would have protested on that as well. They're getting ready to ramp up ICE raids in New York City. Kristi Noem had her ass there the other day talking about you won't let us into your jails. So what we're going to do, she said, what we're going to do is we're going to put more agents in New York to look for bad guys. So the sanctuary cities get exactly what they don't want. More agents in the community. Let's see how this goes for New York, because it's totally different. It's a totally different animal. It's a totally different animal when you start going into people's communities.
Yes. Where did the public pressure come from? Anybody know?
I think it also has something to do with that officer being shot in the face, but I think they won't do that anyway.
Hey, Lisa, so I don't know if any of you read this, but I was reading this article today that said that ICE is offering $132,000 to $185,000 for supervisory role, and up to $306,000 for concentration camp managers. Is that even real?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm gonna say you don't require, because somebody was trying to compare this to how poly teachers are paid. You don't require a college education for any of these roles.
But did it say concentration camp in the writing?
Say that again?
Did it say concentration camp?
Actually, let me see if it's actually a valid, reputable link. Let me research it. I don't know if it's just something somebody posted online, but let me check.
Yeah, because those jobs typically post on USA Govs. And I don't, just with that language, I don't think it will be real, but we know that's what they're trying to do. Because they're talking about New Jersey. I believe it's one of the prisons they want to open back up. And I forget what was the other location.
Alligator class, isn't that what they're calling a concentration camp? Not concentration. Isn't the name of it tailored towards concentration camp?
Yeah, and I can call it that, you know what I'm saying, politically, but they're also trying to open up one in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
I forget the other one. So there's two other prisons getting back open.
Yeah, and I would think the highest they would get paid, if anything, in that kind of role would be maybe between 150 to maybe 210 at most.
Yeah.
Most. We're trying to get the California standards. You ain't getting more than that, and that's at a high, like level 2 type supervisor role. So yeah.
Not necessarily. It's still gonna be a GS level, so it's not about secondary or whatever. But they said it's not gonna just be a public thing like on prisons like that.
Yeah, but didn't the big bill give them $160 billion?
Yeah, but it's still the only thing I would do would give them more employees. It's not gonna change the base scale of a GS worker, is what I'm saying. decided to up the minimum wage for doing that job, that wouldn't surprise me any bit.
Well, it wouldn't surprise you, but this administration has lowered minimum wage for federal contractors.
Well, but we're talking about ICE and immigration.
Well, then that's a federal employee. Like let's not say stupid shit, bro. It's still gonna be the same thing. If the money is not going to be used to incentivize to get employees, right? No one gives a fuck about employees. It's just like the money with the increase of military spending. It's not going to people that serve in the military. It's going to fucking weapons, right? So it's the same fucking thing. When they do that, it's going to be more people higher. But it's not going to benefit the fucking workers.
When we're talking about creating whole new, I'm not going to talk as fast as nation is, but I'm saying anyway. We're talking about creating a whole new thing, Alcatraz, the Alcatraz on the bay, and then talking about alligator Alcatraz, and talking about building. It's a whole new paradigm. So I don't know what we use as precedent to say what those going rates are to be over those establishments. Well, I heard you say it, but with all due respect, just because you said it, it doesn't mean my opinion is going out the window. Sorry about that.
That's false.
I got you. So not only time you say you just said it, I'm still just going to get off my thoughts about the topic, and I'm just saying my thoughts about the topic.
You're talking like you don't know Trump. If Trump, whoever manages like the budget or the payroll or whoever decides how people are paid, if Trump calls the person up to them and is like, okay, I want you to move this to $300,000 to move this, they'll do it. There's no reason for them to do it, is my point. But right? Just because Trump wants to boost immigration and put it, like, keep it in the news, Trump will do so instead of getting more employees, you're just going to give the employees you have or hire. When is Trump really rational to you? When has he been rational to you? It's everything. Okay, you got it.
But then also too, this is a manager supervisory role. Black people aren't qualified for that position. Just think about it. What you gotta be a diversity hierarchy issue. Bullshit.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, all I'm saying is just at that level, I feel like who's qualified for that position, and it's obviously we know who's going to be qualified for those types of positions. So even that is bullshit. It's going to be layered out.
So Ben, when you're saying like in order for supervisory roles in the positions, right? They're not going to hire somebody to supervise to come to ICE off the street. That'll be a one-off. Those announcements for supervisors and those roles are going to be internal roles. So again, I don't know nothing, but there you go.
Yeah, whoever gets the job is one conversation, but the fact that there's going to be pay, I thought the point being made is that there's going to be some pay for some positions.
But the point was also made that probably was not a real solicitation.
Yeah, well, I heard that part, and I took into consideration that, politically, I agree that calling it a concentration camp, I can imagine they're not going to say that across the airways. However, anyone else commenting on it, editorials or someone's opinion about it, they might go ahead and jokingly or otherwise say, hey, those concentration camps are going to start getting this amount of money. So there could be some truth, to my logic, that it could be some truth, not necessarily concentration camp part, but there may be some truth too. And maybe the pay amount is a little off, or I don't know, but it's just, to me, it was just taking it all with a grain of sand.
Yeah, I'm not saying that negative for it. So I'm saying that I think we need to focus on real things that's going on. Trump's piece of shit, and we need to really focus on real, not little things like this. That's just bullshit. It's distractions.
Yeah, I just thought he framed it as, did anybody else hear about it? Was there anybody? I thought he was asking whether it was a valid thing that he ran across or not. I thought that was so.
Yeah, I was asking here. I asked if it was. But these motherfuckers, y'all. If y'all play chess, y'all really need to start looking at everything from that perspective. Because don't get distractions.
Yeah, so he said, you guys, that they're going to flood New York City with immigration agents. So, and it is in response to the Border Patrol agent who had gotten shot on Saturday night. Yeah. And then let's see. shooting was laid on Eric Adams. And everybody, yeah, he said, that's what she's saying. The comment came after a briefing led by Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and other local officials who support sanctuary cities.
I thought he was their bitch though. I thought he converted to them. I got nothing to do with Donald Trump, man.
What happened in Trump's administration? You know, just because you bent over or they're bent over.
Bend over.
Look, bitches still get slapped, okay? Don't get it twisted. They still get slapped every so often. I'm sorry, I don't use that word.
If you bend over, then get used to bending over from that point on. Just understand that. That's just how they go. Yeah, just remember Homer said if Adams didn't motherfucking toe the line, you was gonna get up in his ass? Well, toe it or not, obviously, he's up in his ass. And so here's the see also, I think now join the list with Governor Newsom, Mayor Bass, Adams, welcome to the list. And I think it's going to do maybe some degree of unification between LA and New York after this rolls out. And maybe we'll have some things to talk about from the West Coast to the East Coast about these sanctuary cities. Maybe there might be some unification jumping off. So
I wonder if he's going to try to go into New York the way he went into Cali with the the military formation, everybody's sweeping through neighborhoods. I want to see that go down in New York. I don't want to see it, but I just want to see the pushback of them trying to do that particular type of raid in New York.
You know what's interesting about that raid though, right? If they're going to use National Guard, are they going to use a unit from upstate New York? Because what you're going to get people who are right from there, who family members are probably illegal as well. The population is made up of the same people.
Right.
So
let me see if she says it in this article. Go ahead, keep talking.
No, I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of units that are in the city that aren't going to be that many Caucasians or MAGA type people. Where there's going to be, a lot of Hispanics and blacks and minorities. So, I was a National Guardsman, and that was a situation. I'm in my own fucking city. Please, fuck out of here. Yeah, I think the focus may not be on Mexican, but it's a whole lot of brown. Last time I was in New York. But yeah, it's interesting to see how that. Everybody in New York knows someone who's illegal. I mean, like, sounds a lot like LA to me.
Oh, okay. So a little bit more information though. Eric Adams, they go on to say, has been one of the few officials in New York who have favored changing the New York's criminal justice system and modifying New York City's sanctuary policies, which block local law enforcement from cooperating with immigration authorities. And then he came out and said, I am very clear. I am very clear, and I've always have been clear. Stop to revolving into a system. Go after dangerous migrants and assign seekers who are here, and allow hardworking people who are in the city to go on with their lives. He's not saying that because he's running again. It's in response to the shooting. Trump's administration, Board of Czar Tom Homan said there would be an immigration crackdown in New York City. We're going to flood the zone. He said, outline a plan to more aggressively go after undocumented people, also pick up anyone else who's in the country without status, regardless of criminal suspicion. So that's what they're saying. They're gonna flood the zone.
Well, unrelated but related. I think that's going totally out of left field, but it is New York. Donnie's gonna get more popular as a result of that. In my own crystal ball. Okay.
That's an interesting point. Go ahead.
They're saying that they don't care if you not a violent criminal or have a criminal record. If you're here illegally, you're gonna get swooped up. I posted a story that came out today about 3 of the ICE detention centers in South Florida. Haitian, you may have heard of the infamous Chrome in Miami. There's a lot of Haitians in there. Some of the detainees were saying that they were shackled. It's so overcrowded. They're shackled, forced to kneel and eat their food like a dog off a chair. They said it was so overcrowded in one of them that they kept them on the bus for 24 hours with one bathroom that overflowed and it was like shit all over the place. That in another one, it was so crowded They had women using the bathroom in plain view of men, no privacy or anything like that. And they said all of these overcrowding conditions is one of the reasons why the Satan opened up that. You see how bad he opened up. You see how fast he opened up Alligator Alcatraz. That was to leave because there's so much crowding down there. But I don't know how they sort of these people because it's not. I don't really see any coverage. But they got a ton of them down there.
Yeah. Now, one more thing that I want to put in. Do you think that they're going to use the same parameters, like how they look? Because if they go by how they look in New York, we all going. I'm just gonna put my hands in a position to get the handcuffs because is it gonna be how they look and how they sound? Everybody speaks Spanish in New York. Everybody looks like they.
But not only Spanish though.
Yeah, not only Spanish.
Like that's what I'm saying. They're going to get
I just use Spanish so people can understand. Yeah, but you don't speak other languages. Yeah.
Like, can anybody really at this point say someone's wrong if they fuck ICE up? If they grab them or a family member illegally? Because I'm saying right now, my father right now, my mother, like, y'all making me not bars at this point.
Sound like y'all make LA seem like we real bunch of patsies out here. Like y'all might be coming with.
No, it's just the concentration. Go ahead, person.
No, I'm just saying sometimes, I'm just thinking back then. Sometimes, like, the Bible speaks about seasons, and sometimes there's a time of motherfuckers.
Yeah, so it's going to be
articulation. He basically quoted demographics, where you work, articulation, and some other things. That's straight racial profiling. He said it.
Yeah.
That's the law.
That's going to be so hard in New York City.
But then the illegal, the ones who are, less known and who are fucking illegal are going to go about their life like everyday business.
Yeah, they're not going to worry about it. Are they going to get the Russians in here?
Nah, they're going to stay with us.
Right, that'd be nice.
And the people from, what was that? Who's complaining about, where was these people that somebody else was complaining about?
Ukraine and Russia.
Ukraine, yeah, but there's another one. White.
South Africa's on the list now. It'll get back to Elon.
What? South Africa's on the list?
Trump petty, right? He'll probably go after South Africans as a way to get back at Elon.
And how are you going to tell South Africans in New York City?
Yeah, but see, their only perception right now is for white European South Africans to come to the U.S.
So I don't think that's going to last long.
Whether it lasts long or not, it's like that right now.
If Tom Holman and ICE play the same cards they played LA, New York should get ready for Home Depots and knocking on doors and masks and people
Garment. They ain't going to use the same approach in New York. New York's not as spread out. It's too compacted. Nah, they can't deal with the crowd. You can't deal with the crowd control in New York. It's too tough. Yeah, they can't do that.
we don't see it. Yes,
They said flood the area, so let's see how they flood.
Like, it's not going to happen in New York. That's the way Trump is saying it. But we do know that Trump is going to fuck about chaos. But it's not going to be like a docile fucking group in New York. If they continue just doing this shit. You see what happened with the Haitian chick when they were in Brooklyn that time? That was just the beginning of this shit.
Oh, do you think they might hit Brooklyn first? As opposed to the city? Or Harlem first? Like, what parts of the city are they in? What borough would they hit first? Staten Island first. They'd be best off in the Staten Island.
So I'm saying now for the Chinese, are you fucking joking?
I'm talking about because it's easier to do what you're trying to do like you did in LA out there.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to be strategic, right?
Yeah, I understand.
So what borough are they going to go first,
They just said we're going to flood the zone.
That's why he said it. He's saying it would be easier to spot out the illegals.
It's going to be more like the Jackson. It's going to be Staten Island.
All right. Instead of the steroid pumping motherfuckers, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to... I don't even know, like, New York is really going to be top of the list.
I mean, because of what someone said about the density thing, right? Like, even if you had a lot of undocumented people in one area, there'd be so many other people around. And just like the scenes, like what that would look like would be so much worse. Like, LA is so spread out. Like, you can, most streets in LA have no people on them most of the time. Like, you can do all kinds of stuff, and they have done all kinds of stuff because of that. That you would not be able to do that. Like the amount of foot traffic there is in like a outer borough neighborhood is more than like downtown LA. It's just not even close.
Yeah, I think it has to be Queens because it's more residential. I don't see them doing it in like, you know what I'm talking about? Haitian?
Yeah, no, I feel you. They would try it, but I still don't see them just being able to just do.
That shit ain't gonna happen in New York, not the borough.
Because okay, let's say you're gonna go to Queens. You're gonna go where? Where in Queens you go to?
If you go to Queens, you're gonna have to go to Roosevelt.
No, I'm saying, but which community? Which community?
Hispanics.
Yeah, but then they got a whole other problem too, because think of how many Puerto Ricans they're gonna hit up.
It's inefficient. Yeah, I mean, Staten Island's the only place where it's not inefficient.
Okay, so you guys do know this is in response to the agent that got shot while he was sitting at the river, where he was robbed. They were attempting to rob him. Came upon him on a moped, jumped off, pointed a gun to him in his face, and he pulled out his service weapon because he was off duty, just hanging out by the river on a rock. And then of course, the gunman got the shot off first because he was already, his weapon was already pulled. And they rightly so pissed that one of their people got shot in the face. So that's why they said they're coming in and flood the zone. Now, I don't even know what that means.
Did they get the shooters?
Yeah. I think they got one of them. I have to go back and read the article again.
Who knows what the real story is? They said it was off duty. Who knows some other shit? Because look at the cop on Long Island. He shot himself.
That no one else.
You see that?
It's a lot of Puerto Ricans in. I'm sorry, Haitian. It's a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York. How would they got the French gate? They are legally here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I said,
They don't worry about that after they take them off. What do you mean?
After the switch,
Yeah.
and that's going to cause more issue that people with the mentality in New York, right, are not going to, tell me if you disagree with me. When this shit continuously happens, are not going to sit there and be like, okay, just do what you do. And we'll take care of it for you.
Absolutely not.
Just gonna pop off, period.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 4th of July block party. And what you say about the cop? The cop in Long Island shot his fucking self with a service weapon. Claimed that he got shot on the highway. They went looking for fucking suspects for like 2-3 weeks or whatever the fuck it was. And they beat the shit out about it. He was embarrassed he shot his fucking self with a service weapon.
Any case to get the past to get it was just easily prove that he shot himself.
I wouldn't put it past Donald Trump that he would anticipate that somebody is going to be like patient saying, I hit it and just pull it out and just start dumping. And then that's going to be justification. National Guard and everything else. It's going to make LA look like Disneyland opposed to, when they have some legitimate reason. When somebody's dead and somebody shot somebody, here come troops and here come, justification.
Yeah.
Take over your city.
That's
What's the likelihood of them going into subways?
What the chaos? That's another angle.
Subways.
I'll be dumb.
why not? That's a trap right there. That is a definite.
It's a trap. That's true.
Wow.
I don't live there. I don't know.
It's harder to remove
No,
it
it's
from
a
the subway.
trap.
Patient. I can actually see them going into Republican areas, right? So if you think about it rationally, they're not going to go into Queens, Brooklyn. They're not going to go into the boroughs. They're going to start in Long Island because Long Island is what? Mostly Republican. Let's face it, there's a lot more Republican population in Long Island. Mostly white, mostly wealthy. They're going to hit the Home Depots there because, quote unquote, those windows are. I mean, if we're going to even take Garden City, there's going to be windows by Home Depot in Garden City because people who want to have a lot more money. It's a very rich neighborhood. So then, to me, the logic is you start with Long Island. That's where you start because you're not going to get pushed back there.
Oh, baby.
Why would they go to Republican states if they got the 45% votes they got was from Republicans?
Republicans. They're not gonna go to Republican states.
And mess up their beautiful little spot.
They're not gonna mess up their numbers.
To start. No. What I'm saying is to start. Right? Why would they not dedicate the boroughs?
But you know what? Long Island wouldn't give it out. I told you they're going to Roosevelt. Come on,
They're going to Beverly Hills. And
They're going to Jackson Heights and Roosevelt. They're going underneath the 7 train. Come on. They're going first.
Yeah, come on.
Not no J train. They ain't going to East New York.
Hello? Have you been on J train last time?
Yeah. I was over there last week. What was I supposed to see on the J train?
Well, I remember, I was there a couple years ago around Christmas time. But I remember the J train, and I've had instances when I would walk to the J train and I would be told, like, you know, that you're white and I represent eat a burger. And I was like one of the very few people that were white on the card. But that Jamaica Avenue and Queens Boulevard, that's always been, that's not a white area.
Yeah, I know. I'm wrong. Yeah, it's not. But we know that Jamaica goes from Brooklyn to Queens, right? The J train goes from Brooklyn to Queens. Jamaica Avenue goes from Brooklyn to Queens.
In Queens.
That's why I don't.
In Queens, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
In the Queens area, right?
Yeah, I think you guys forget how many undocumented people are underneath the 7 train. These are happy ending prostitution ring that was running on Roosevelt. So that's why I said if they're going anywhere, they're going to be going to Roosevelt. If anybody knows Roosevelt, Corona, Jackson Heights, that area would be where they would find a lot of Hispanics. And I think they picked up a lot of them already.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, I'm sorry, can we just go back for 1 second to Haitian when Haitian was talking about the budget and the ICE? I'm sorry, I was busy. I was with Jerry, I was cooking. But Haitian usually makes this, he actually makes it funny. And he talks about how ICE agents are getting a $47,000 bonus. Each ICE agent is getting a $47,000 bonus. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh, so, okay, I will send you the link, but in the budget there is, as far as I understand, right, there is definitely, pay raises and bonuses for ICE agents. So they are planning to give them more money. And that would make sense because if you look at people who don't want to do, some people just maybe their moral code is, whatever, they just don't want to do it. But if you offer them a good amount of money and entice them with that money, people will go even to their deaths. I mean, look at Russians. They don't want war, but they get paid so much that they go.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. What you're saying? So the $50,000 bonus is a retention bonus. There are $10,000 sign-on bonuses. The $30,000 one is over 3 years, and that's also retention. The government already does retention to keep certain positions. But yes, they offer an incentive of $10,000, but that's not what was being made out to be earlier. Like you're gonna become a fucking millionaire, not by being an ICE agent. My point is, yes, they're gonna put more money into those resources, but not so much towards the individual. They want more bodies.
But what if you said they're gonna, recruit internally, and I agree with you.
No, that was a supervisor positions when it was talking about as far as supervisor positions. That wasn't just for any position.
No, I know, and I'm talking about the supervisor position. So, I have somebody who is a corrections officer in New York, right? And I am told again that could be true or not true, but it came through my mouth of a correction officer that a lot of correction officers are being advised to go become ICE agents because of the pay. Their pay is a lot higher than the corrections officers. And what they're not allowed to do in prisons, like rough handle people and stuff like that. So a lot of these hot-headed, crazy COs end up going and signing off, to be the ICE agent.
Yeah, so Katrina, respectfully, that's fine if that does happen, but I think we're saying stuff that's not, there's no data to support what you're saying right now, right? Because you're talking about CEOs and Rikers, they're making money as well. They're working crazy amount of overtime. So they are making money. But to say that they're leaving, from there to now go to become ICE, I don't know if I would say that because New York City's 20 years retirement. So again, that's what I'm saying about focus on real stuff versus distractions and bullshit.
Can I jump in here just for a second? Because I haven't heard this discussion yet. Did y'all know that Trump released the MLK papers?
Yep. 240 pages.
Have you discussed it in here?
Yes, they did earlier.
We didn't want to discuss it because there was a lot of bad things as far as our actors took. Lisa said there's a lot of shady and weeding out MLK bad and trying to tear him down. So I was
yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to even do that.
Yeah, no, okay. No, you discussed it. It's good. Just want to make sure.
It's just more distraction and deflection.
Well, you have to understand the nature. Remember, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, even though it might be a distraction, brother, I say Trump has amassed a lot of power in this country. He's not upset him, you see, the congressmen, senators, and all these kind of things, right? And he has the National Guard in the streets, right? The Supreme Court gave all of this absolute power. So even though you might think that, he's not going to do it. He started out corrupt, and he is getting even more corruptible. So him addressing Obama, to me, is par for the course. I predicted all of this when I was running around telling people, don't let Trump. He's eventually going to go after political rivals, and we see that in dictatorship countries.
I think the Obama thing is just a flashy object that worked. Like, I've noticed the last 48 hours, like, the MAGA people are now, like, we're talking and steam less. And Mike Johnson said, it seems like the Obama shiny object is what's worked.
Obama did. That's 100% distraction. So I guess they're gonna coordinate with Obama's Secret Service team to come arrest them publicly, right? Because Obama's walking around the streets without any security with him.
I don't,
Well, he's got security.
Yeah, so if Obama was to get arrested, it's not gonna be this fucking Trump show where the cameras are right there and they're banging on Obama's door. It would have to be something that was coordinated where Obama's turning himself in, which we know is not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless we're gonna have a shootout with all Secret Service teams.
Patron, do you really think that really is maybe the fact that he actually hates Obama so much that he would try anything? Because, Trump did get arrested.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But don't you think he will try in any way possible?
So
in any way possible.
That's okay. Yeah, you're right. You said
Damage.
you're right.
Yeah, what was it? Don't you think maybe yes?
I'm saying you're asking me a question. I'm trying to answer you, and you keep answering your own question. So you have to know your answer then.
Do you think ICE would go after cab drivers?
Yes, they're going after everybody.
Do you think they would? Because that would be a major disruption too.
Not really. You got Uber.
Going after cab drivers.
Not really. Not Uber.
Those cab drivers are illegal.
You know how much millions million.
Well, they lost value to like Uber though. They did lose value, but yeah.
I'm gonna look it up because I remember when they did this big thing.
And I don't know about all that.
Let's go back and look at it.
Yeah.
What the hell are we talking about now?
If ICE would go after
What cab drivers are legal? The yellow ones?
The yellow ones are not illegal.
Oh, I'm not asking what they were saying.
I have no idea. Some cab drivers are legit. They gotta pay.
Again, I'm not from New York. I don't know.
Yeah, they got TLC licenses. What are we talking about?
Right.
The medallion goes a lot of money, right? Fuck it, Dan. Don't talk.
Man, puñeta!
Shit.
Cállate, motherfucker.
Go Haitian.
Nah, go ahead, Dan. My 88 kicking in, bro.
He ain't even from, Daddy's not even from New York. What the fuck he's talking about? Like, yeah, I
What I'm saying with those medallions, yo, we know they were mad money, but they did start going down. And they said there was a lawsuit against the city with Ubers. Because Ubers were fucked up the medallions, but just because someone is driving the cab doesn't mean it's their medallion in that on that cab. That's it. It's not that fucking serious. But it's not $1 million. It might have been about $750 when it capped out.
I'm telling you, I watched this stupid thing. Maybe I was high or something, but I remember watching. And they said that one guy said that he had to pay a fucking $1 million. So I don't know.
I think that's all that's on the whole process.
Maybe the owner of the company, they were committing suicide over the medallion shit because they were getting
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then that's when the city started taking action with the medallion stuff.
Yeah, Haitian medallions, they talk about like to $1 million, but that's with all the shit, like from beginning to end.
Did you not hear what I said about them being reduced? I didn't say they were never $1 million. What I said from the beginning was Uber and Lyft. I didn't say Lyft. Uber fucked it up for them.
Yes, I know. I agree.
I know I might speak or articulate. When I say things in my mouth, go ahead and fact check me until I'm wrong.
No, I wasn't disputing that with you at all whatsoever. That was all I was saying is that I agree. At least at some point it was close to $1 million. Right now it's not. I agree with you too. It's not right now, but it was close to $1 million.
Can y'all show me something that says $1 million? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it.
I had me another time, but I know somebody.
Maybe Katrina could help you out. Look for it. So that's. I'm serious, you guys. I don't usually say anything unless I saw it.
No, listen, you're not even right, but it's not that anymore.
Yeah, I agree. It's not anymore because of
It's
Uber
been
and
years
Lyft.
now. It's been like that for a minute, though.
Yeah.
And they were talking. There was a whole thing on about people. A lot of people financed.
Okay, so here it says, I got a little, I can't tell you exactly, but I pulled up something. I don't know why I've been doing this. It's called New York Focus. And then it says, I don't see a future. Hundreds of taxi drivers left in debt as lenders balk at loan deal. So it's talking about how Uber and shit came in and fucked everything up. And then it says, down here, over the past couple of decades, more than 2,000 taxi drivers have raked up hundreds of millions of dollars in debt to purchase medallions, the small metal plate that serves as licenses for New York City cabs. When Uber and Lyft and then COVID-19 arrived on the scene, the value of those medallions plummeted, leaving drivers suffocated by debt. So I had watched something, and they were talking about, one guy was talking about how it was close to $1 million. So I was like, what? That little fucking thing? So yeah, but I guess now let me see if it says, offered to give her medallion for $130,000 in cash. But debt is more than $200,000.
It was $300,000 to $400,000 in 2004. 2010 they went up to $600,000.
No. Lorenz Ponce is in a familiar fix. He started driving in 2004 and purchased a medallion worth $550,000 in 2009 with a down payment of $100,000. Now he owes, so he paid $550,000 for his, and then it.
That's why a lot of them are committing suicide and just not getting the TLDR version. Yes.
And now they're under $100,000. I know now
that's crazy. I would be mad as fuck. I paid that for that little sticker, and now it's under.
That medallion got people kids through colleges and all that shit back in the day.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah. Them cab drivers used to make some money. My father was a cab driver when I was coming up.
Yeah, my neighbor was a driver too, just around that time you're all talking about COVID and that, we
So just want to confirm, this medallion was for yellow cabs only, correct? Correct.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And how many cab services we had in our 5 rooms?
Right, because they had to drive.
I can give you the phone numbers right now. 277-111 Atlantic Car Service. 877-1111 Brothers Car Service. We had so many cab services, and those people were caking it without, doing the yellow cab, and they didn't have to pay all that money.
Yeah, no, but that's for New York City. Majority of those yellow cabs with the medallions were actually in the city, and they actually did they kind of gate kept that business in the city because everybody only went to those medallion.
And who was the majority of the drivers that were driving these yellow cabs?
Well, I don't know. I'm a subway girl, but.
That's what I thought. Foreigners, Africans, Indians, Arabs, all the stuff. Yes. And then they came out with the green cabs. You remember the green cabs?
Oh, black green cabs?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Gypsy companies make so much money too, by the way.
Break it. Yes, break it, baby. Break it. It's a oh, wow. I didn't know you thought that way, but anywho.
All right, I don't know. I'm just seeing this, so I don't know if you've been able to check this out. But Lisa Murkowski is saying that she feels cheated. Trump got rid of the concessions that made her vote for the big.
She's just saying this shit since she got back up here. She knows she fucked up. License we see depends on Native Alaskan rural health care. They have their own hospitals and shit up here. They're gonna be in trouble with Medicaid cuts. It's her fault. That's her big base. So you know what? Lisa is stuck with Trump. I don't know, 85% of the time voted. So she need to just shut the fuck up. Let's see it. She's probably gonna get goaded out this next time. Mm-hmm.
So they did okie dokie on her, switch and they told her they gonna give it to her, and then she was like, yeah.
Nobody okie dokie her. The stuff they tried to give her couldn't be done. I know Patty said something about it once too. It had to do with you couldn't do that shit anyway in that bill that they were trying to do. So she knows that. She's been in the Senate for years and years. She knows. She tried to play a game like she was getting, she's trying to always play a game like she's standing against Trump. That she's in the middle of stuff, and she's really not. Even after the vote, where she voted for the big busted biscuit bill, she told the House people, hey, you guys you shouldn't vote for this. Hello, you fucking just voted for it. What are you doing? So yeah, she's ridiculous. She's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Trump signed an executive order shortly after the bill was passed that could limit the awarding of tax credits for said projects, and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum issued a new directive requiring his personal equipment for wind and solar projects on federal land and water, thus likely hobbling and even killing such efforts in Alaska. There you go. Back to regular programming.
Yeah, I remember seeing her being interviewed by somebody, and they confronted her about that bill. And all they did was just look at her horrified. This is looking at her. It was like, okay, you're going to answer it. He puts his bare hands in the oil. I've never seen anybody respond or even look terrified. Exactly what she told me. Why?
Do you like chapli kebab or not? Tell us in the comments. This man from Afghanistan earns lots of root.
I can't even remember this. I can't remember his name. He was fucking crazy. So she didn't get the Republican nomination in the primary, so she ran as an independent against this guy. And people up here, some like Sarah Palin, but for the most, no. And he was a fucking clown. He was kicking reporters out of, like their little shit they do. She did it during his first administration. Independent. Actually make a statement. And then
So she does tacos too.
She did say the ACA, and that's part of why people think there might be a chance she'll do it again. That's the one. That's what she's voting against.
Yeah, but do you guys think that that's just a strategy that she's playing? Like, I'm gonna pretend that like I'm someone not a full conservative and crazy and MAGA.
Katrina, were you here when I just explained what she does?
Breaking news. I gotta come up with Martin Luther King screen. Okay, you guys see that guy that got beaten in Jacksonville?
Yeah, we spoke about that too.
You did? Did you guys play a clip on it?
Nah, what guy got beat?
Nah, we just played a video of the cops approaching the car and
Oh, that motherfucker, yeah.
Let me see if
we
I
just
can
listened to it.
Okay,
Well, we didn't listen to it, but we just viewed it.
okay, let me see. Oh, you viewed it. That's enough meeting. Traffic stuff. Damn it. Traffic stuff. I thought that was breaking news. Did you guys see, anybody actually see it? These cops are out of control. They broke the fucking window. They gonna be breaking the windows.
They said there was another incident that happened in Florida that's very similar to that one as well.
Wow. Okay.
So quiet.
Let's see if I can play for you guys. Viral video. This one. Alright, let me see if I can play it. And then we're gonna move over to Epstein and like I said, and then the baby thing will probably take us till midnight, and then I'm zonked.